Luka Baptista, aka Akul. Nice to meet you, man. How's it going?
I'm good. Nice to meet you too. Going well.
Yeah, good to hear, man. Good to hear. We've been chatting a little bit beforehand. I want to make this one a little bit more conversational, everybody, because I'm in my own head. I'm feeling like these are a bit too interviewy. So I want to make it quite chatty. But listen, mate, it's really nice to meet you. You are someone whose name is springing up left, right, and center in my world right now, all over the gram and stuff, because you make, incredible garage, and you're working with a lot of the best people doing shit in Sydney right now, which is fucking amazing. So, and it was a little bit of work to get you on the show, not loads, but a little, just a little
I
bit.
like to play hard to get,
Oh yeah, man, and it's working, man. It's working hard. But yeah, so if I can, because I'm an oldie, you seem like a bit of a youngster, and you're making banging shit. So can you just give us an overview of what your musical journey's been so far?
Oh yeah. I've actually been producing for quite a long time. Probably, well, since I got into dance music, basically, when I was about
Wow.
16. So I heard jungle, and I was like, "Yep, this is it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
for
make
sure.
start making music instantly." Like I started DJing, and then yeah, I wanted to do the music as well. I had to be all over it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That you had that
um,
realization from get-go.
yeah, pretty much. I just knew straight away, this is it. This is what I want to do. And I had like a crappy little laptop that was barely powerful enough. Downloaded some cracked copy of this like tracker software. It's like this really weird way of sequencing. It's like a very old school way of
Yeah, it's the
sequencing.
vertical one.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Yep.
it. Yeah. So I
Do you know
had
what it was
that.
called?
Yeah, it was called Renoise actually. It's like
Okay. Is it a powerful tool? Like, do they make a good version of it? You say you used like a cracked
yeah.
version. Is it, yeah, something that a lot of people do actually use for making beats? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like a old software. They keep updating it. It's like a new tracker, I suppose you could say.
Yeah,
That was the
nice.
only thing that would run on the laptop that I had, so I didn't have much choice. So
Okay.
yeah, so that was basically it. That's how I started, and then I got into drum and bass massively, and I was producing under the name Forest Sound a little
Okay.
while ago. Had some releases on Inner Rhythm. I don't know if you remember, Inner
I
Rhythm.
do. Seb.
Yeah, Seb, exactly. Yeah, Seb and Josh that run it. So they
Yeah,
kind
we
of
had Seb on the Swerve radio show on Bondi Beach Radio back in the day, and I really looked up to him because he'd lived in Paris and he'd lived in London, and then he was living in Sydney, and I was like, they're three banging cities to have lived in, bro. I really look up to you. Plus, he
yeah,
ran a label and stuff. He's such a G.
exactly. Well, he kind of really helped me along in my musical journey when I
Okay,
started
cool.
doing a couple of releases there, and like just kind of he just sort of gave me the confidence to keep working on stuff. And so I
Hmm.
was doing drum and bass for a few years, and then I don't know, I got kind of bored. Like I'd already dabbled in dubstep and two step and UKG, and obviously jungle already, and so I just kind of combined all my influences that I'd done in the past and started making UKG, I guess you could say, and breaks is kind of
Yeah.
the umbrella genre,
Yeah,
I
the
suppose.
two umbrella genres that kind of
Yeah,
encompass so much. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So, and then that's it. So basically, my stuff is just a mashup of all of that, all my influences now. I think, I feel,
Yeah, no, it's
yeah.
awesome. The music that I hear from you, first of all, it's really tight, it's really bassy, it's kind of grimy, but it's really clean. And that's what I really like about it. It's not too mucky. It's really tight and well
Okay.
produced and
Cool.
just nice. And you do get you work vocal samples really well. How long
Okay.
have you
Cool.
been how long have you been using, yeah, what's your process for finding good vocal samples?
Um, to be honest with you, I don't know. Like I've done, I I sort of just a couple of times I've just kind of found like acapellas from tunes, say I don't know, some R&B tunes or things like that.
Yep.
And there's actually this feature in Cubase, like you use it for transients for drums, but you can use it on vocal tracks, and basically it detects all the hit points. Um,
Okay.
and it's just it gives really random results. So like I'll basically chop up an entire a cappella into tiny little snippets just based on what Cubase detects. And then I'll just have a bunch of tiny little uhs and oohs and things like that, you know, and then you can kind of put them together and make some interesting sounds. You can make it longer so it gets whole phrases and stuff like that, and then just chop them up and put them into a sampler. And yeah, and that's kind of how I mess around with vocal sounds and chops.
That's
basically.
a fucking cheat sheet, dude, right there. That's amazing. Like, you just grab any a cappella, have it automatically search for the transients, lay it out on a keyboard, and then you've just got snippets everywhere.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Ah, that's magic. Okay, and cool. Let me dig a bit more into production for a sec. Bass lines. What's your bass line process?
Basically everything I do is based off of samples. I don't really use any synths. So, well, I do use synths, but I just make sounds with them and resample them. And then the final sound is always a sample. I'm not usually generally using any synths in the final sound, if that makes sense. It's usually just a little audio clip in a sampler. So I make all my basses, just sample one note, basically like a middle C or something, and then whack it into my sampler and then just sequence it in Cubase. And basically it's all about obviously the sound. Like I try and make a really good sound to start off with, but then on top of that, in Cubase I'll do a lot of automation of filters and messing around with LFOs and things like that. Always bunch of saturation, and that's kind of the main thing. Yeah.
So you're not actually running the VST for the whole session and having it do things within the VST itself. You sample it and print it so that it's there and it's like what it's doing. What are the kind of synths? Do you use hardware? Do you use software to get those kind of like those initial sounds?
I use both. I use a lot of hardware, but also a lot of VST instruments as well that I like to sample basses from. And usually it's just VST instruments of hardware synths that I can't afford. So just the virtual versions of those, at least I can get those.
Okay, so what are the ones, what's the sort of like Mount Rushmore, to use an Americanism, of like VSTs for you?
Oh my God. So the one I use constantly is the Korg M1 Vst. So
okay,
that M1 synth, I use that on almost, I wouldn't say every tune, but I use it on a lot of tunes for atmosphere and keys and all sorts. It's got those classic like organ and house piano kind of sounds and things like
beautiful.
That. Yeah.
Okay,
so
nice. Yeah, so the Korg M1. What about the other? Do you have another three? Because Mount Rushmore's 4 heads.
Oh, okay. You know what? Off the top of my head, I can't really think of any others. There's another one, a free one, but I can't remember what it's called, and I can't remember what synth it's a virtual version of, to be honest. So that's not really any help.
Yeah, that won't help. What about hardware then? So like, of the ones that you can't afford, that you want, that are like on the fucking wish list, the OnlyFans buy me things on Amazon, If someone was going to buy you a synth, what one would it be?
Well, it's pretty cliche, I guess, but I would love to have a 909 and 303.
The originals.
Yeah, I'd love to have an original, but there's also some pretty good replicas and clones out there. So I don't know if there was a good one of those for sure. But yeah, there's definitely others. I just can't really think of them, to be honest. Well, an M1, I would love to get a real M1.
Yeah.
A Korg Triton as well is another one that I would love to have. I think off the top of my head, they're probably the main ones.
No, that's awesome, dude. That's amazing. Dude, one of the things that I'm really struggling with is getting past an 8-bar loop in the shit that I'm making.
Okay. Yep.
So, first of all, how long were you just making 8 bars before you managed to finish a composition? It seems like it must have been pretty early. And what advice can you give me to help get past that?
Yeah. Okay. It's funny, actually. When I first started out, I kind of wasn't thinking about anything. So I was able to I don't know, I felt like I didn't have, once I sort of knew how to do a basic sequence, I kind of just smashed out a whole bunch of tracks, like from start to finish. They weren't very good. Like the structure probably wasn't very good and things like that. But I don't know. It was when you start learning a lot about it, I feel like it starts to restrict you and you sort of lose a bit of like, I don't know, creativity, because you start feeling like you've got to follow certain rules. Whereas when I first started, I didn't really follow any rules because I didn't know anything, about it.
Yeah.
But so I kind of had to unlearn everything, I feel like, because I still get stuck in loops these days as well, because I'm just
Right.
thinking too much about it. But one way I like to work is I'll just basically copy that 8-bar loop for, the length of a track, say 5 minutes. And then I'll just start deleting bits around the place, So basically just start fleshing out like a skeleton structure based on what I've got in that 8-bar loop.
Yep.
So, might have some drums, some pads, some bass, some keys and some vocal samples or whatever. So, I'll start stripping away the drums from the start building up a little intro just with, the pads and keys or whatever's there. And then, that's one way I like to work.
No, that's a really good tip. I think that's not uncommon what people say. There's another good one is people just say, lay out a song that you really like and just literally copy the structure, like literally in it, like literally just copy paste. Oh yeah, trace, trace almost.
100%. When I learned how to do that, it changed the game for me, honestly. I learned so many things about writing, composition, the structure, obviously, mainly. But yeah, that helped so much, so much doing that, using a reference track and building off of that. It's just like a paint by numbers then. Kind of takes your guesswork out of it, so makes it a lot easier. And then you build up those habits, those skills to know when to make the right choices, once you've done that a few times.
For sure. I like that, man. And I know I'm bouncing around all over the place now, but talk to me about mixing. So your shit's clean as hell, dude. How do you get that?
Okay. I mean, there isn't an easy answer to this. I guess it's just like what I've learned over the years. I'm just constantly refining my mixing process. One thing that I always do is base everything around the kick. So the entire track, all the levels will be based around the kick. So I always set the kick at minus 12 dB. And
Okay.
and then all my other levels are based around that. So the snare is going to be hitting roughly about the same. And then I always sort of know that I want my hi-hats down around minus 18 to minus 20 or lower sometimes, depends, and then I always know my atmosphere and sounds are going to be, a bit lower than that. And my bass is somewhere around like 6 dB under the kick. So I kind of already have in my head, I know what works level wise. So it's almost become a bit easy in terms of setting the levels. Yeah. And then I bus everything. So I've got all my drums going to one drum bus, all my basses going to one bass, like sub bass bus. I'll have a mid bass bus for everything that isn't sub, all the mid range stuff. Then like synths, a bus for that. And then everything else goes in the effects bus. So that'll be anything else basically. That's helped me immensely working like that.
With buses, you mean?
With buses, yeah, because then I can process everything on those buses and it just helps glue everything together and make everything sound a little bit more consistent, because then at the end of the day, they're all running through the same effects on that bus to, I don't know, give it some warmth and make it all sound.
But you will affect the individual elements, right, to get them where you want them prior to sending them to that bus.
I do, yeah. Not much though. All I do is just a bit of EQ normally, unless I'm doing like creative effects like filtering or delays and things like that. But other than that, in terms of mixing, just EQ on each individual track, set the right level, and then it all goes to a bus after that, where I'll use some glue compression, bit of tape saturation, or other saturation, and then some more EQ. That's about it. I usually put a little bit of a limiter on each bus as well, just to kind of keep anything from getting too excited.
Yeah.
But but yeah, but other than that, that's about it. I try and keep processing as minimal as possible just to give it nice sound, but not overdo it, you know?
Absolutely, and that shines through. What your tunes always come across as, like, simple is the wrong word. It's clean is what I'm
Okay.
going for.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
sounds as though what's in there is very clear, which is something that I
Cool.
think a lot of people struggle with. Well, actually, I don't know that, but it's like from what I hear, like compared to other stuff, that's what really shines through is how clean and clear everything is. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I do try and keep things simple. That's definitely something that I go by because otherwise I just end up getting too overwhelmed. Like I know in the past I've, tried to do so much processing on each individual track and do all this just because I heard someone else did it, and then it just never worked for me like that. I found that keeping things as clean, as simple as possible gives me the most effective results I've
yep,
found.
fine.
Yeah.
And do you find working in Cubase that a lot of the stuff that comes with it is as powerful or as useful as you need it to be? Or are you looking outside of what comes included within Cubase to get what you're looking for?
Yeah, 100%. A combination of both, really. Cubase has some amazing plugins built in, especially the equalizers and things like that. They're all really, really good. Reverbs and stuff, the compressors. Cubase has got some really good stuff built in that I use on every track.
Okay.
But then obviously there's other third party, plugins that I use on every track as well. It's always a combination.
Yeah, the one that I'm seeing a lot of is Valhalla. Is that a
Oh,
make
okay,
of?
yeah, I do have that, the reverb, right?
Yeah,
I
the
don't
Valhalla
really,
reverb. Yeah.
yeah, I don't use it very often though. I haven't really messed around with it very much, but I've heard good things about it.
And what about Waves? Do you use Waves at all much?
Yes, yeah, I do use a few Waves plugins.
That was
One,
something that I always tried to pirate a lot back in the day because
yeah, yeah,
their
yeah.
packs are like, I don't know, so expensive, dude.
They
Yeah.
are expensive. I just get the odd one when they're on sale, just the odd individual plugin from Waves. But yeah, they're all great. I use the G Bus compressor a lot.
Okay.
I use that on my master if I'm doing if I'm mastering. I use
Do
that a
you
lot.
do much mastering?
Yeah, so I mean, I master all my own stuff, just like a little home master, for playing out and things like that. I don't take that too seriously, but I've started doing the mastering for Finespun just for the free downloads.
Oh no
I've
shit. So
been
that
mastering those.
Isquan track, that was you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mastered that one, and the free downloads before that as well. Yeah.
Hectic. Yeah, shouts out to the Fine Spun crew, sorry, which you're a part of. But yeah, shouts out to shouts out to Isquan. He's coming on the show very soon as well.
Nice.
Yeah, we were meant to do it last weekend, but there was a bit of a miscommunication and it's happening I think on Monday.
Ah,
And
okay, cool.
if I'm right. How are things going at Fine Spun? So obviously that's a slam project that you and Bisoux have gotten into. How's everything going there?
Yeah, it's going well so far. We've just sort of finalized the Isguan EP, which is coming out. It'll be coming out late December or early next year. We haven't locked in a release date yet, but basically
Is
just got
everything done for it, or is it kind of
yeah, everything's done. We just got the masters back and the artwork is finished. So yeah, we're just got to get a release date sorted for that.
that's cool?
And then yeah, that'll be the next thing on Finespun. And we've got a couple of other artists working on some music for us at the moment as well. So pretty excited about what's in the future.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. Yeah, the Fine Spun. Yeah, that's a really fucking sick label. If you don't know already, go sign up to the Fine Spun Records mailing list because they send out free tunes. They got great UK garage coming out. It's fucking mad. That's exciting. Are you going to do a launch party? because I'm just excited that Sydney's opening up again, basically.
We have talked about it, but we haven't done anything about it yet. But we're definitely keen to do some sort of party. A launch party would be great. Yeah. We've also talked about maybe doing a collab party with Extra Spicy as well. So that'd be cool. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. But nothing locked in yet. So we'll just see how we go. But yeah, as soon as possible, really. As soon as possible.
Yeah, for sure, man. Right, let me bring it back a second, because I feel like we glossed over the mastering that you're doing really, really fast.
Okay, sure.
What's your mastering process? And talk to me about how you learned that.
I mainly learned it through a lot of trial and error, but I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials. Always constantly watching YouTube tutorials from producers and sound engineers and things like that. So I guess I just learned a lot from that. I learned like the basics of what I should be doing, and then the rest of it was just experimenting with what worked for me. Again, I keep it really simple. I've heard a lot of different things about mastering. I don't know. There's no right way to do it, I guess. You just sort of follow the basic guidelines, the basic idea of mastering, and then everyone has a different process, I suppose. But my basic process is just I use that G bus compressor, the Waves SSL G bus compressor, I think it's called. That just adds some real nice punch to the master. And then after that, I do some tape saturation, then EQ, a bit of soft clipping sometimes. It really depends on the track. And then limiter after that. And then that's it. Oh, and also do a bit of mid and side EQing as well as stereo EQing. And then limiter.
Is that EQing specifically within the left and right spectrum? When you say side limiting, side EQing? Yeah,
so you can EQ just the center, if that makes sense, like mono, I suppose, and then the sides separately. So center and sides. So basically in the middle, I don't want any wide sounds to be in there. So hang on. On the sides, I'll normally remove everything below, say, 200 or 100 hertz, just to make sure that there's no muddiness in the sides. And then that helps to mono the kick and the bass, which gives it that solid like center,
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess it just clears it up a little bit. But that's about all I do. I don't go too hard on it. I don't know that much about it. This is literally just from me messing around in Cubase.
For sure. But I don't mix at all. In fact, so quick history. I used to work at 2GB Radio in Sydney, which is an AM band. Now, 2GB, Alan Jones, fucking Hadley, that lot. Fordo. I worked with shouts out Fordo. I worked with him for 4 years. Basically, it's an AM band. So AM broadcasting sounds like arse. So they don't... FM still is heavily compressed, but you can actually get... It's like stereo. AM is fucking mono and sounds like shit. So the practices that go on for mixing audio. Don't get me wrong, there's people doing good things, but they don't train their engineers to be side EQing is not something that they give a fuck about in AM bands, dude. And I worked there for 4 years. So for me, my idea of mixing is slap a fucking limiter on it and get it as loud as possible, as quickly as possible, because the next project is coming in the door now. So hurry the fuck up.
Okay, yeah.
Even hearing that you can EQ out the left, do you know what I mean? That's actually news to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people use mid-side EQ. I don't know. It's not that essential, but it does just help. No. It's the fine details, I don't know. It makes a difference for me, so I like to use it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, that's awesome. And as I say, it shows in the recordings, what you in the tracks. I think I have one of yours here, actually. Yeah, this is you. You're
Oh,
one with
nice.
a scuba do.
Yeah, wicked, wicked.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Did Dr. Dubplate contact you, or did you reach out to him? Are you sending him stuff?
No, yeah, I was sending him stuff. I basically just I don't know, just kept spamming him for like 6 months or something. Just kept sending tunes and sending messages on Instagram and like I don't know, he occasionally he would get back to me and he got back to me on a couple of tunes that he liked, and then I just kept sending him tracks and chatting to him, and then eventually he really liked a couple of them, and so that was my first EC2A release, and then this one, and then I don't know what's next, but I'm just going to keep sending him tunes.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And so when it comes to that, networking and sending stuff to people, maybe just after it's finished. Do you like? I don't want to like. It doesn't have to be a process, but how do you generally go about it? Are you just fucking hitting up people's DMs, sending them links on SoundCloud? What's the kind of
Yeah, pretty much exactly that. I chat to a lot of people on Instagram. Instagram has been a really really good tool just for getting to know people, on the other side of the world, and that are doing the same, same kind of music as me and things like that. So that's played a massive part in networking, definitely. And then yeah, I'll just send people tunes on emails or on DMs on Instagram, and hope they get back to me, and that's about it, really.
Dude, I really think that that's like a valuable tip for people. I think a lot of people, especially my generation, don't understand the power of Instagram.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so like even for me helping set these interviews up, a lot of it's been done via Instagram and the message feature. It's fucking crazy that like you have the ability to reach out to people. Do you use Twitter much at all? Is Twitter something that you've ever really fucked with? No?
No, not at all, to be honest. I never really saw the need for it, really, with
Yeah,
Instagram.
same. What about TikTok? Are you a
Nah.
TikToker at all?
No, not at all, not at all. To be honest with you, I try and sort of stay off social media as much as possible. I just try
Yeah.
and use it more as a tool, like Instagram, yeah, especially. That's pretty much it. And even then, I just try and limit my time, because I find that going on there too much kind of hinders my creativity sometimes as well. You compare yourself to other people a lot and things like
Yeah.
that too. But amazing for networking, like, yeah, great for that.
For sure. And what's your feelings these days on Facebook as a promotion tool?
Yeah, I mean, I still use it, but no one, I don't know, it's not really, seems to be kind of fizzling out now. No one really gives a
Yeah.
shit about it anymore. So I don't know. I still post up on there. I've got an Akul page on Facebook, but compared to Instagram, it's not even close, you know?
Yeah. There
Yeah.
seem to be quite active Facebook groups that I see, like for I don't know, different mainly gear reviews and also
Yeah.
memes, like Simpsons memes. There's some great Facebook groups
Yeah.
for like memes and shit. But as a promotion tool, yeah, I really don't know that it's doing bits these days, to be fair.
No, not really. Doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, for sure. Right. What releases have you got coming up, dude?
So next release is I did a remix for Iron Gate Sound, Seat at the Table featuring Manga Saint Hilaire, which is going to be pretty cool. So that's coming out tomorrow, actually, 2nd of
Oh, fuck
December.
yeah.
So that's
Fuck yeah.
pretty exciting. Really, really happy to be a part of that, and pretty happy with how the track turned out. The whole EP is wicked as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited for that one to come out.
Yep. Cool.
Then
I played I played a track off it on the last show, and I have heard that remix, and it's banging. You should have seen Gilson in our group chat. He was mad. He's like, God damn it. Akul's remix is like so much better than the original. The bass line is so much fatter. He was Devo, dude.
Oh, nice. So I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, and you said there's a Gold Blom bit coming out from you as well.
Yes, yeah. In February, another tape compilation that they're doing. So I'm going to be on that. And then I think that's all my releases I've got lined up at the moment. But
Yeah. something for 40 Grit, I think you said.
Oh yeah, so Bisoux and I are working on an EP, working on some tunes, doing a bit of a collab EP for
Yep.
40 Grit Records. So not sure, it's not finished yet. So not sure when that's going to be coming out, but we're hopefully going to have that finished in the next few weeks, I would say.
Yeah, perfect. All right, dude. Listen, you've been really generous with your time, and I think I've actually learned quite a lot from this. Lastly, before we bounce, any last bits of advice for me, having recently started my music production journey? Not much getting past an 8-bar. Are there any last key lessons you think I should be taking into this?
Well, I would have said that one, the user reference track to build on the structure, that's been really helpful and for me, and not just for structure, but also for figuring out how they've made the sounds in the track as well. If you loop certain sections, you can really start to just like dissect it. If you really focus in on certain sections, I've found you can sort of start to hear how some sounds have been developed. That's been by far the most helpful tip that I've ever learned, was doing that for sure. Other than that, just keep, another thing I would say with the 8-bar loops, just try and make as many different variations on that loop as possible, and then whack them together in some kind of structure. So, if you have 8 bars, duplicate it and then change just the ending of the next 8 bars, for example. And then maybe the next one, you change the start, change to have a little like transition or a little fill or something, and then I don't know, that work like that. That's sort of one way I do things too, just keep adding and then, changing things as I go until I've got, an interesting sort of journey, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That's really helpful. Listen, Luka Baptista, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, links to Akul's shit is going to be down in the description below. Go check it out if you like clean, heavy, dirty, bassy, garagey, breaksy gangster shit. Mate, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on. Cheers.
Hello, legend. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. If you'd like that, I got a ton more of these interviews being uploaded constantly on the YouTube page. And I do a weekly mix on Mixcloud every Saturday. So if you can subscribe, like, comment, that helps out loads with the algorithm. And if you follow me everywhere and you like the sound of what's going on here, let me know. I'm always open to hearing from people. This is very new. I'm figuring it out as I go along. But yeah, there's tons more. Check out the other interviews. Follow me. Listen. Jump onto the live stream. Say hi. I'm a friendly dude, and I really appreciate you watching. So thank you so much. You're a fucking legend. Love ya. Peace. Bye.